This right here is one of my favorite dishes, my healthy vegan veggie sausage lasagna. If you love lasagna, and who doesn't, you'll absolutely love this. And the veggie sausage takes it to the next level. It's absolutely delicious, and today I'm going to show you how to make your own. Alright guys, so this is a recipe that I'm very excited about, but more the process and the recipe. In creating my page, one thing that I've tried to do is create recipes for things that will empower people to make certain recipes. Let me tell you what I mean by that. So today I'm going to make this delicious lasagna with these ingredients, but most of the ingredients that you see here are already here on my page. And so even if I didn't share this lasagna recipe, with a little bit of thought, you could put this lasagna together. Because think about it. Let me tell you what we're going to use to make this. I'm going to use some of my healthy vegan cheese sauce that I've already shared, some almond crumbs that I've already shared, some of my veggie sausage ground. I've already shared this recipe too. And I always encourage people with my veggie sausage ground and with my veggie ground beef to keep some on hand, keep it in the freezer, so that when you want to make this lasagna, burrito, etc., you have some that you can break out on a day like today. I'm going to use tomato sauce, which I've already shared. So the only two ingredients that I'm putting into this lasagna that are not already here on my page are a couple of things you'd have to go out and get, which are lasagna noodles, which I have here, and then some spinach. Everything else was already here. So even if you wanted to make burritos or tacos or enchiladas or anything else like that, a lot of times, if you think about it, a lot of the staple ingredients are already here on my page, and you would just have to go out and grab a couple of other things. So in that way, you are empowered to make lots of recipes by just using what I already have here. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do to make this lasagna is we're going to layer the bottom of the pan with some tomato sauce. Now let's talk about tomato sauce. Now, you know, if you go out and buy a store-bought version of a tomato sauce, even if it's organic and says it is healthy, most of the time you're going to find it has oil in it, or it has too much salt, or it even has some sugar in it. But I make my own. Now, for the tomato sauce and the other things that are staple recipes that are already here on my page, I'm going to link them in the description below the video. Or if you want to see if you want to go to that video right now and look at this tomato sauce and how I make it, you can tap right here and that'll take you to my simple tomato sauce. Okay, now something else I wanted to mention is something that I'm very excited about and happy about is just recently I did a video for this, and what this is a nightshade free pasta / pizza sauce. Anytime that you would normally use a tomato sauce, if you're looking for a substitute, you can use this. It has no tomatoes, it has no nightshades at all. And I'm so happy about this because I had lots of people write me and email me and say, hey, do you have something I can use if I can't eat tomatoes, if I don't want nightshades? And I didn't have anything for the longest time. But as of recently, I came up with this. It's excellent. So it's a great sub for my people out there who are nightshade sensitive, just for you. All right, so let's get started. We're going to put some tomato sauce at the bottom of our pan here. If you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe below. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is put a layer of our lasagna noodles there. Now, these lasagna noodles that I buy are organic chickpea and lentil noodles. Two ingredients, organic chickpeas, organic lentils. There are no other ingredients. That's the way I like to buy my products. Simplicity rules with me, so these are great. Now, for these particular noodles, you don't have to cook them before you layer them. If you decide to use a noodle that needs to be cooked first, then you would just cook them and then start the process from there with your cooked noodles and making your layer. But again, I don't have to cook these, so I'm going to put them in right now. Now, because the noodles will expand when they're cooking, it's important to leave a little space between each one. Okay, so now I'm going to put another layer of sauce. Now, guys, as far as how you put this together, it's really optional. You could go with some spinach now or some cheese, or however you like to put your lasagna together. I like to put my layer of sauce kind of heavy at the bottom, and then I'll go with my veggie sausage, my cheese and spinach, then another layer of sauce and cheese and stuff on top. So you're seeing how I'm putting it together, but do know it's optional as far as what goes where. So when I laid down my first layer of sauce, I put a small amount, and that was basically to keep the noodles from sticking to the bottom of the pan. But here I want a lot of flavor, so I'm putting a thick layer of sauce. All right, so now I've got 2 layers of noodles and tomato sauce here. The next thing I want to do is put my cheese sauce. Now, this is my regular cheese sauce, so it's made out of cashews. But in the spirit of my nut-free followers out there who need things that are nut-free, you can adapt this recipe by using my nut-free cheese sauce. Now, if you want to see my nut-free cheese sauce, you can tap on the screen right here, and that'll take you to that recipe. But again, I'm going to put all these recipes in the description below the video. I just want my nut-free followers to know that you don't have to go, oh man, now I can't make that, because we do have options, okay? Let's go with our cheese sauce. If you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe below. Okay, so the next step is I'm gonna add a layer of spinach right on top of my cheese sauce. Now, it's gonna look like a lot of spinach, but spinach is, I'm sure a lot of you know, is full of water. And so when it cooks, it really shrinks down. So it's gonna look like a lot now, but the end result will be perfect. Now, spinach is an amazing food. It's one of the healthiest there is. It has a high amount of iron, so it's great for blood health. It's also good for gut health, brain health, lowers blood pressure, and it's powerfully protective against cancer. All right, we are getting there. So the next thing I'm gonna do is add some of my veggie sausage ground. Now, I love my veggie sausage ground. I encourage people to keep it on hand. You could use the veggie ground beef here as well. So you could use either or. I like to use the sausage because I've made it both ways, and it's just something about the veggie sausage just gives it a really, really nice flavor. So that's what I wanna go with. Now, if you want the recipe for this, again, it's gonna be in the descriptions, or you can click here and get that. And if you decide that you wanna use the veggie ground beef, you can also tap here to see that recipe as well. All right, so let's put our layer on here. Okay, so now this is what really takes it to the next level and makes this lasagna exceptional. The veggie ground sausage, as I said, is full of flavor. Now again, for my nut-free followers out there, I have a nut-free option for the veggie sausage ground. So when you go to look at the recipe, make sure to look for that nut-free option if that's what you prefer. I'm just gonna put a nice thick layer and press it down nice and tight so that I still have room to put another layer of noodles and some sauce, and we are just about done. All right, and just like that, I've got it put together and ready for the oven. Now, the idea here is that we're gonna give it a bake like this. We're gonna cover it and give it a bake, and then we're gonna take it out with just about 10 or 15 minutes left, and then add another layer of cheese sauce and our breadcrumbs. But right now, we're gonna cook it like this. Now, I'm gonna put a top on this. If you don't have a top to your pot, you can put a pan over top. I don't use aluminum foil, but if you do and you wanna cover your pot or your pan with aluminum foil, you could do that also. So I'm gonna get this covered, get it in the oven, then we'll take it out and top it and finish it off. Okay, so now I've got my lasagna baked and I've pulled it back out. And now what I'm gonna do, as mentioned earlier, I'm gonna put some dollops of cheese on here, cheese sauce, and then I'm gonna sprinkle it with the breadcrumbs and put it back in for a quick little bake. And then we're done, we'll cut it, and I'll give it a taste for you, of course. Okay, so now for the final touch, I'm gonna add some of my healthy vegan almond crumbs over top. Now again, for those of you who are nut-free, I do have an option. I have some crumbs that are made out of chickpeas, out of roasted chickpeas. And if you wanna see that, you can tap right here and you can see that recipe, or again, I'm gonna link it in the descriptions. But I'm gonna use almond crumbs, nut-free. You go with my chickpea crumbs, all right. So I like to add a generous layer of breadcrumbs because it adds a nice texture and flavor to the final result. All right, so now I've added my crumbs. Now it's just a matter of giving it a quick bake and letting it cool, and then we're ready to cut it. All right, look at that. That looks absolutely delicious. And since you can't try it, I will. Now, I know you're used to me saying that everything tastes good. I'm being authentic when I say that, but this right here is next level good. If you like lasagna, and even if you don't, you ought to make this. You'll be writing me and telling me how much you love it. Trust me, unbeatable. So if you're new to my channel and you're wondering how to find the recipe, look below the video for the word more. Tap on the word more and you'll see the beginning of the recipe. Tap on the word more a second time and you'll see the full recipe, and then you can begin to make your own. Thanks for watching.